Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you are watching this video. Earlier, we had a video communication through our WhatsApp group wherein we have discussed about how the existing testing times can be utilized as an opportunity, in fact, to assure the success in the upcoming examinations. We discussed some of the generic things wherein there are points related to what has happened and what is to be done, and also about the existing preparation that has been going on as far as your batch is concerned, and also the examinations that we had earlier prior to this lockdown, and also the plan for the examinations during this lockdown, which also we have successfully completed. First of all, I assume and I expect and I hope that all of you are not wasting this time. I hope you are using this time very effectively for the revision of various chapters that have been already discussed in the classrooms, and I also hope all of you have taken the internal assessment tests very seriously and have attempted them, have written them in almost an examination kind of environment. That is why a simulated environment was required for such examinations. I hope you all have written well the two exams which were conducted in the last couple of weeks. In addition to that, I hope you have been revising the other subjects as well. Like we discussed in the earlier video communication, these times are tough times. We have to accept them. At the same time, we cannot stop or we cannot take a break from the learning process just because there is a lockdown or just because we cannot interact one to one. So, undoubtedly, there was a requirement, though it is not really the gold standard, still the requirement is there should be a continuity in the learning process for all of you. For that purpose, there can be multiple modes of communication depending upon the subject or the topic or the requirement. Already, as you are aware, Shruti ma'am is sending audio lectures, and the Indian Contract Act related provisions are already being discussed and taught in those audio lectures. I hope you all are following those audio lectures well, and not only just listening to them, I hope you are all making notes from such audio lectures, simultaneously reading the Manish Bhandari book, at the same time having a general glance through the ICA material in relation to the same topic. That will cement the learning process in relation to the legal provisions which are being taught through audio mode. Then naturally questions will come whether audio mode is suitable for all types of subjects. Can we have a one solution for all? Is there any Zinda Talismat for the learning requirements of the lockdown period? Answer is no. You might be already listening to some of the other educational institutions ranging from schools to universities to IITs to IIMs to even governments using Zoom as a video conferencing tool and thinking that it will help in the learning process. But after carefully evaluating that, we understood the limitations of that particular application, and yes, it has been extensively used, but on the other side, after all, it is a video conferencing application, and it would be possible or it would be more effective only and only when each and every one of you is online like you are in the real classroom. Yes, that can be done, but there are other limitations of how the files can be shared simultaneously and shown, how the workings can be shown, how the multiple things can be done at the same time. All these limitations are there. So, just for the sake of looking at the face of a teacher or a faculty member, we don't need Zoom application, or for that matter any other video conferencing tool is only more useful for verbal communication rather than visual communication. When it is verbal communication, whether the person is visible through video or not, the effectiveness should not be much different. Hence, all the subjects cannot be dealt with in the same manner. Some subjects require audio lectures, some subjects require audio cum video lectures with workings also to be shown for your understanding, which is not possible normally with many of the other applications which are widely being used, because most of them are video conferencing applications rather than learning applications. So after a careful study of different technologies, of course took some time and effort which is required. Finally, this is what has been found to be very effective in terms of communication. Not only just communication, even the entire experience of learning process is much better in this particular mode, is what we came to a conclusion. And as a trial, we can say, or an introductory lecture, we can say, in this mode of communication, whatever the way we look at it, this particular session is going to tell us, of course, once again in detail what has happened and what is yet to be done. And this is communicated not just with audio, but this is also communicated with video, where you can see me. At the same time, you can also see the file I am explaining. So take this as a double opportunity. One, to get used to this mode of learning. Two, to have a review of whatever happened so far and what is going to happen in the coming weeks or months. Let us start with one by one, subject wise accountancy. So this is the syllabus of accountancy as per the ICAI syllabus contents sheet. In this, chapter 1 is Introduction to Accounting Standards, or chapter 2 is Framework for Preparation and Presentation of Financial Statements. Both of them are purely self-explanatory, not technical, not really useful in the examination also. So chapter 1 and chapter 2, I suggest every one of you just go through them as a novel, as a newspaper. There is nothing much technical about it. On the other side, there is nothing much needed from examination point of view also. But what actually matters is the real accounting standards, that is the overview of accounting standards. The contents of accounting standards definitely are going to be very important, which we will discuss. So module 1 is completely related to accounting standards. Module 2 is about the corporate accounts in general. So module 2 has all the chapters related to company accounts, like preparation of financial statements of companies, basically the profit and loss account and balance sheet, income statement and balance sheet. And this is a separate chapter, profits or losses prior to incorporation, pre and post incorporation, how to split them. Accounting for bonus issue, rights issue is a very small topic, few journal entries, that's all. Redemption of preference shares is also a very small topic, few journal entries, that's all. Redemption of debentures is a very important topic, a separate discussion is required on this area. So on a broader basis, the corporate accounts also will account for, on an examination point of view, at least 20% of the overall weightage. Accounting standards, as most of you might be aware already, are definitely going to be asked in the compulsory question, that is question number 1 in the accounts paper, which is 20 marks question. So 20 marks question is guaranteed from the accounting standards, that is for sure. Then another 20 marks is guaranteed from the corporate accounts, that is also for sure, 100% guaranteed these two are. Then we have for the remaining, there are around 6 chapters, all of them will account for easily minimum 60% of the paper. So 60 marks will definitely be asked from module 3, including investment accounts, insurance claims, hire purchase, departmental accounts, branch accounts, and single entry, what we call as accounts from incomplete records. So this is the syllabus of accountancy for your general review And now let us see where we are standing as far as this syllabus of accounting is concerned. Now, taking the chapters one by one, this is what actually happened when we discussed these items in the classroom. So, insurance claims was completed on December 30th, 2019. Like this, the dates are there, I don't need to read them. Investment accounts has been already discussed. A single entry, which is accounts from incomplete records, hire purchase, departmental accounts, branch accounts. And if you observe very particularly, all these 6 topics related to module 3 have already been discussed, and that is actually going to be the real crux of accounting paper. So the major chunk of accounting paper has already been discussed. And corporate accounts are running, means accounts cannot run. The topic of corporate accounts is being discussed in the classroom, in the midst of which we have this closure and pause to the face-to-face classes. Anyway, in the corporate accounts also, particularly speaking, if you take final accounts of the companies, there is definitely going to be one question. Profits or losses prior to incorporation, there will be one question. All others, 6, 7 and 8 chapters, each of them may not have a separate question, but probably one question can be there, either from redemption of debentures or the other 2 topics put together. So those are small topics. There are many other small topics in corporate accounts like divisible profits, managerial remuneration, how to prepare financial statements of the companies, then profit or losses prior to incorporation, how to account for bonus issues and rights issues, redemption of preference shares, then redemption of debentures. This is all part of corporate accounts. But the good news about corporate accounts is each topic is not very big, not huge. It's a simple few journal entry based topics. This is like preference shares, bonus issue, rights issue. So chapter number 6 and 7 are just few journal entries. And the preparation of financial statements of companies is more or less about the format, the Schedule 3 format of the Companies Act. And profit or loss prior to incorporation also is more or less the same type of question that will be repeated with different information that is given. So these topics are pretty straightforward and very scoring, not so complicated, not so huge, small topics, but yes, there are many number of topics within corporate accounts. So this particularly will have to be discussed, though some of them can be discussed through this mode, but mostly for some of the things like redemption of debentures, lot of accounts have to be opened. So there is no point of discussing them in audio mode. Even in this mode also it is very difficult, not so effective to discuss such topics, even profit or loss prior to incorporation. All these things require real writing on the board, and then a lot of space they require in terms of solutions to the problems. So that is why those topics we will further time being keep them on hold. Hopefully once the lockdown period is over, once the educational institutions are allowed to function, then even within a short period of time we can definitely discuss, learn and cover those topics. So that is the better strategy, rather than pushing them into different modes of communication, is what has been decided. On the other side, the topics which are completed are the ones where you have to do a lot of revision, and whichever topics you are perfect, you need to be more perfect in them and nail them. Means if at all a question comes, you should get full out of full marks in such topics. In the topics where you have been little bit weak or fumbling, if there are any such topics, this is the time where you have to do more on those topics, more practice, so that your weakness can be overcome in this period. So you have sufficient time now to prepare and revise these topics which have been completed. So this is the area which absolutely you have to focus more on. And the corporate accounts area is something that we will definitely discuss. Most of that, if not all, most of that will require the physical face-to-face interaction. So we will do that at that stage when we can actually do that. Then coming to the other aspect, that is the accounting standards aspect, that is still to be discussed, not yet discussed. So what are the accounting standards that we have in group 1? These are the accounting standards that we have in group 1. Accounting standard 1 is a generic theoretical accounting standard. AS2 is related to inventories. AS3 is cash flow statements, which is once again something that is better to be discussed in the classroom. So AS1 we can discuss actually through even audio or video, doesn't make much difference. AS2 can be discussed through video. AS3 can be discussed face to face. 10, 11, 12, 13 and 16. These are all the accounting standards which have a bit of explanation of concept also and some problems also to be solved. But even then, these are all possible to be discussed through web learning process. What we are talking about now, we can give some name to that. Let us call this web learning process. And face to face means really sitting in the classroom. So these topics in the corporate accounts, some of them will be discussed face to face. And as far as AS1, 2, 10, 11, 12 and 16 are concerned, these can be definitely discussed through web learning process. There is a possibility. So we will come to them in the due course of time, and before even we actually meet after the lockdown or after the period when the educational institutions will be open. So till that time, these accounting standards can very well be effectively learned through this web learning process. That's what we need to keep in mind. Of course, are we saying that this is the best learning process? Definitely not. Out of all the available options, this is the best learning process. So that we will not compromise anything on quality. As far as the effectiveness of learning is concerned, whatever the best can be done, that only will be done. So out of these, except accounting standard 3, remaining things can be discussed also before we have face-to-face classes in future. When is that? That nobody knows. But still, don't worry about the future much. Think about today, what we can do now. So what we can do now, 1, we can do the revision of all these things. 2, we can discuss about many of these accounting standards through web learning process. 3 accounting standard, third accounting standard, we cannot do that. We will do it later. Coming to accounting standard 13, that also does not require a special discussion. Actually speaking, the investment accounts what we have, where we have this January 7, 2020. So we can say accounting standard also is done on that day only. That is accounting standard 13, because that is same as investment accounts. There is no difference between that. AS13 also is basically about investment accounts, and whatever the accounts you have prepared in the investment accounts is that using AS13. Classification of investments, reclassification of investments, all are that part of AS13. So if anybody is interested, you can just generally go through AS13 and confirm yourselves that AS13 is what already has been discussed as investment accounts chapter. Both are same. So that is something we don't need to separately discuss. Of course, if there are any doubts, anytime they are welcome. But as a separate discussion, AS13 does not require a exclusive session on that. Remaining things, yes, of course, they do require. AS1, 2, 10, 11 also actually half done in branch accounts. 12 of course has to be discussed. 16 has to be discussed. These things can be discussed through web learning also, face to face of course, anyway, if it is possible, that can be the best option. So this is where we are standing as far as accounts is concerned. So whatever has happened, whatever is to be done now, and whatever can be done through the web learning process in relation to the subject of accounting is this. With this, we can cover the 100% portion of accountancy paper. Now coming to the other subject of law. Again, first let us quickly go through the ICAI syllabus, that is divided into two parts. One is Companies Act, second one is other acts, other laws. So corporate and other laws. So corporate laws is basically Companies Act 2013, which is having all these chapters: basic understanding, preliminary sections, incorporation, prospectus, share capital, acceptance of deposits, charges, management and administration, declaration of dividend and payment of dividend, and accounts and audit. All these things, chapter 1 to 10 are there in the Companies Act 2013 syllabus, ranging between section 1 to 148. Now, in addition to this, we have some other laws, LAWS laws, including 1 Indian Contract Act, 2 Negotiable Instruments Act, 3 General Clauses Act, and interpretation of statutes. Now clearly go through them also, because this portion, the company law portion, ranging from chapter 1 to chapter 10 is already done in the classroom, and I hope all of you have understood it well, prepared it well, and even recent examination also, I hope all of you have written that examination well with a thorough preparation of company law. Once again, as accounts has this module 3, the 60%, which is the core of the paper, that is going to be determining the success or failure of anybody. Same way, law also, the core crux of law is always this Companies Act. So each of the papers has certain portion which is the core of that particular paper. So for accounts, the core is module 3, which has already been dealt with, and for law, the core is company law, that also has already been dealt with in the classrooms earlier. That does not mean remaining topics are not important. That does not mean remaining topics do not have a weightage. They do have weightage. So here module 1 20, module 2 20, module 3 60, like that in accounts. Same way in Companies Act also, in the law paper also, Companies Act 60, remaining all other provisions will account for 40% of the paper. Now, what are those laws? Indian Contract Act has these things: contract of indemnity and guarantee, which is already being discussed through audio classes. I hope you are all following that, making notes, reading Manish Bhandari, also generally going through the ICA material. That's what is the best strategy. You should write more when it comes to the theory subjects. So contract of indemnity, contract of guarantee. So indemnity 1, guarantee 2, bailment 3, pledge 4, agency 5. That's all. So these are the 5 different kinds of contracts that we have. So indemnity, guarantee, bailment, pledge, and we have agency. So 5 different contracts only are covered here. That will give us easily 15 marks, not small number. So 10 to 15 marks can be easily expected from the Indian Contract Act. Same with the Negotiable Instruments Act. What are negotiable instruments? What are the characteristics? What are the classification of instruments? And different provisions related to negotiation, negotiability, assignability, rights and obligations of different parties, presentment of instruments, and rules of compensation. All these things are there as part of Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. So that is also a very important thing. So between these two, definitely 20 to 25 marks we can expect: Indian Contract Act and Negotiable Instruments Act minimum. So these two acts, in addition to Companies Act, will give us a fantastic coverage of the entire, not entire, most of the portion of the law paper. However, still there are 2 more generic things, like these 3 and 4. The chapter number 3, as far as other laws is concerned, is General Clauses Act, which is a generic act, generic things which are not specifically related to any particular act. So what are the definitions, how to define certain things, extent and applicability, what are the rules of construction of any law, powers and functions or provisions as of the orders or rules, etc., made under various enactments, and other miscellaneous provisions also are covered in General Clauses Act. So General Clauses Act, interpretation of statutes are both important, but they are very generic in nature, which will be helpful in understanding any law. So basically there are 2 aspects. One is to know the law itself. What is company law? We are knowing through Companies Act. What is Contract Act? What is Negotiable Instruments Act? These are acts. These are the laws which are related to a particular topic. Companies Act is related to the entire thing is companies. Contract Act is related to contracts. Naturally, the Negotiable Instruments Act is related to the negotiable instruments. But these are particular acts. How these acts have to be interpreted and how various clauses within the acts have to be dealt with. And are these the only acts in India? There are hundreds of them, thousands of different provisions, thousands of different statutes we have in India. So how to interpret them, how to read them, how to understand them, that is the essence of these two things, General Clauses Act and interpretation of statutes. Very important, because once you know and understand these things very clearly, you will develop the ability to read, understand, interpret any law in India, and for that matter, any law in India, if you can interpret, almost you can interpret any law in the world as long as it is in the English language. So these two are also to be still discussed. So what is happening now running is Indian Contract Act. Negotiable Instruments Act will be discussed, and it can be done through the audio lectures as long as the face-to-face classes are not possible. All of them, because they are mostly text-based subjects, nothing much to be written. Whatever has to be written also is there in the Manish Bhandari. You can definitely go through that. So audio lectures will be more effective way of communication as far as these topics are concerned, and you are already aware that the Contract Act discussion is already going on through audio lectures in our WhatsApp group. That is another point. So accounts, we have this task through the web learning process, majorly accounting standards. Law, we have these things majorly through audio lectures. Then coming to costing, there are once again two modules which have been divided into as far as ICAI is concerned. This is the syllabus once again taken from ICAI's syllabus sheet. Chapter 1 is introduction, basic concepts, material, then labor, basically employee cost and direct expenses, then overheads, ABC, cost sheet and cost accounting system in module 1. Module 2 has unit and batch costing, job costing and contract costing. Both of them we have dealt with already. Process and operation costing is not yet done. Joint products and byproducts also is still to be discussed. Service costing we discussed already in the classroom. Standard costing not yet completely discussed. Marginal costing and budgets also, most of the things. Marginal costing completely discussed. Budgets almost 99% of the things are already discussed in the classroom, except where there is a link between standard costing and budgets. So this is the position of costing. Now if we go through the syllabus as we already discussed in the classroom and what is done and what is to be done. Basic cost concepts of course is done. Material and labor, these two are to be discussed. Now understand the nature of the topics. Once again, there is no one solution fits for all, is a very wrong phenomena. Audio is good when it is good, like these things. This mode, what we are talking about. Now we can understand what we are talking about. So there will be my video, you can see on the right hand bottom corner, and there will be a screen which you can see. So whatever I am sharing on the screen, you can see that. So if I type something here, for example, problem something, you can see that. So the point is, instead of writing on the board, I can write here, so you can easily understand just almost as it is similar to the board. However, once again, it has its limitations. Certain topics are better to be really be discussed face to face. Those topics anyway we will defer them, we will postpone them. Like for example, some of the things within corporate accounts, as we told, and AS3 as we just understood, will be done face to face before definitely the examination and whenever we get such opportunity. This does not have any limitation because mostly it can be done through audio lectures also. So technically the one which is less complicated in terms of learning through other than face to face modes is this. Once again, coming to costing, certain topics are definitely easier to be understood when we actually listen to them and when we learn face to face. Those are these things, like for example process costing. So many accounts have to be opened, and in this it is difficult. Of course, even if it is done also, it will not be easier for somebody to understand it, because the screen space what we can have here is limited, whereas the board that we use, the whiteboard in the face to face classes, is bigger one, and many number of accounts can be opened there. Here it will not be that effective. So what we will do, process costing, still we will differ. Joint products by products is an extension of process costing. So without discussion of process costing, the joint products by products discussion will not be really effective. So both of them are like twins. They will go hand in hand, and we'll discuss both of them at one shot. Standard costing is okay. Either it can be discussed as in the live classes face to face also, even in this mode also it can be done. So we'll see, depending upon the time. This is not a problem. Either way it is okay, because it is mostly the conceptual and formula based calculations. So majorly what will be the things which can be done effectively, even though there is no face to face interaction, is materials, particularly labor also to some extent. Why? Because both these chapters, including standard costing by the way, are formula based chapters. If you see, majority of the chapters, whether it is overheads, whether it is activity based costing, whether it is cost sheet, cost accounting systems, most of them, and budgets, these are all mostly the concept based chapters. Marginal costing is a very formula based chapter, except decision making. So contract costing, cost accounting systems are procedure based chapters, whereas materials, labor and standard costing are, of course, any formula will have a concept also. Formula based does not mean there is no concept, but majorly solving of problems will involve remembering important formulae. So these topics can very well be discussed in this technology. So we'll try to do that in the coming days. So materials definitely yes, possible. Labor also possible. If required, standard costing also. If not required, we can push it to the face to face days, the coming days, if they are coming. Of course they will come. I'm just joking. So that is how the costing position is. Majority of them, even now, if you observe the total percentage, at least as far as the examination is concerned, easily 70 to 75% of the syllabus is done. So anybody who has practiced all these chapters very thoroughly should be able to easily clear the costing exam. With more focus on the remaining topics, our aim in the costing paper should be to get maximum score. So accounts also, costing also are the two papers in general where there will be heavy possibility of scoring high. So don't lose that opportunity. This is the time you can prepare very well and become more and more thorough with the different topics. And as I said already, topics which you already know, you should become double thorough, so that whenever a question comes from that topic, you should get full marks. The topics where you are not really comfortable, now you can use this time to become comfortable in those topics by practicing more. So that is how the I would say the attitude should be. Of course, the attitude of failures will be opposite. What a failure will think. Failure will be overconfident about the topics which are easier. What is there? Insurance claims I can do. Oh, this is small topic. What is there in this I can do? They will not really practice well with overconfidence on the topics they know. And those topics where they cannot do, they will be over afraid of them. So they will just ignore those topics because I am not comfortable with that. Baba, it is not important whether we are comfortable with something or not. What is important is we should pass. So nobody is asking you whether you are comfortable, not comfortable. All these things we should not judge. That is none of our business. Our job is to practice well, prepare well, learn well, and ultimately implement it in the examination so that we get the best marks, best result in the examination. So that should be the positive attitude with more commitment towards success. That's what is required by any CA student, and the same thing is expected of you also, naturally, isn't it? So these are the three different papers so far we discussed: accounts as well as law and costing. Right? These are the things that some of them have been discussed and some of them will still have to be discussed, either through audio mode or through this mode what you are watching now, we are calling it web learning, or through face-to-face classes once we meet personally in the classrooms at a later stage. So three layered learning process is required now. We cannot just go with only one type of learning process. There is no one solution fits for all. That is the wrong approach. Technically, rationally, whichever is the best possible, most effective tool, most effective mode, we use that as our mode of communication, and this is what is the plan of action for the coming days as far as the other three subjects are concerned. Now coming to the taxation, which is having both direct taxes as well as indirect taxes, and particularly focusing on the income tax, the direct taxes portion, which is anyway already the 60% portion of the overall 100 marks. Some of the topics of course have already been dealt with in the classroom and some are still remaining. So this is the syllabus as per ICAI: basic concepts, residential status, exemptions, that is incomes which do not form part of total income. Then we have heads of income in module 2. That is the crux actually, that is the 60% of 60%. So we can say around 36 to 40 marks easily can be expected from this particular module. 35 to pakka, somewhere around 35 to 40 can be expected from module number 2. And of course 5 marks is guaranteed from residential status. So these are the module 1 and 2 which easily account for 40 to 45 marks in the income tax itself out of the 60 marks portion that it carries. Now these are the things which we already discussed, and once again the same hope I carry. I hope you have studied them well, revised them well, and have written your notes, a summary. I asked you to write summary for each of the heads of incomes. I hope you have done that. And I hope you have practiced the problems. The good news for all of you this batch is you have Girish Ahuja with you. That book is the Brahmastra related to income tax, or for that matter GST also. So when you have that book, you have to make use of that book in the best possible manner. You have to practice the questions of Girish Ahuja book many number of times. That helps a lot in scoring well in this particular paper. And then what is still to be done? What are the things still to be done? Are these like clubbing provisions, set off carry forward, deductions. This chapter 8 is not a chapter, it is a summary of all the things that have already been done. So it is like a culmination, climax, that is chapter 8. Then we have assessment procedures in the form of advanced tax, TDS, and TCS is just one small topic, and return of income, how to file and who has to sign and all that. So chapter number 9 and 10 are related to, we can simply call them assessment procedures, whereas chapter number 8 is a calculation of the total income and tax payable in relation to various SSCs. And what we are going to do, we are just going to apply all the heads of income, and everything that is already known, already learnt, has to be applied in chapter number 8. So chapter number 8 is going to be your work, and that is going to be the litmus test of the knowing, understanding and remembering of all the provisions that are already known to us. But that cannot be done before the chapter number 7. That is why I am not giving you the task of doing chapter number 8 now. We will do that. You will do that after chapter number 7 is discussed. So 5, 6 and 7 are the topics which can be definitely dealt with through the web learning process, and we will start that as early as possible. So this is the position of income tax. So basic concepts, definitions, rates of tax, residential status, salaries, income from house property, PGBP, capital gains, income from other sources. Some of the section 10 exemptions have already been discussed. One small topic of agricultural income is still to be discussed, and majorly what are remaining is clubbing of income, that we will start immediately after this particular session. Then set off and carry forward of losses is still to be discussed. Section 80 deductions, chapter 6a deductions is still to be discussed. These three are problems also and provisions also. So definitely these three can be dealt with in this mode where we can go through the provisions also. If at all there is a PDF file, we can go through that, and we can solve problems also in the Excel. So this technique will be the best suited for these three things. As far as these three are concerned, all of them are theoretical mostly in nature. So basically there is only discussion that is required. So these can be also dealt with very easily, either through audio lectures or even in this mode also they can be discussed. So there is no big requirement of calculations in these three, because these are all procedural topics. Whereas these three are provisional, plus problems also will be there. After discussing these three chapters, you will have a task of solving all the questions in chapter number 8. That is going to be a major task, and that is the real litmus test of what has already been learned, understood and remembered in relation to the entire provisions of the Income Tax Act. So this is about income tax. And on the other side, there is a 40% syllabus in relation to the GST. There are most of the topics in the GST are also discussed in the classroom, as you all are aware. But yes, there is still something to be done, which I am also aware of, is solving number of questions related to GST, which is still pending, which is still remaining. That we will do when we have face-to-face classes, because the better way of dealing with them is understanding the position, and second thing is basically applying the position or provisions in relation to a particular problem. So problem solving in GST, which is a very important aspect also, with a quick revision of all the GST related provisions, will be done after this lockdown is over and after we are allowed to start conducting the classes. So that we will also, that will definitely do as a separate exercise, and then we will cement those 40 marks. The GST is a very scoring aspect, small in portion, huge in weightage. Income tax, huge in portion, lesser weightage, but still both we have to focus. There cannot be any more, I would say, importance given to one over the other. That will not be correct. Both will have to be given its due importance. So as far as income tax is concerned, we can definitely conclude also all of them. There is no limitation at all. We can discuss agricultural income, solve problems, clubbing, set off, deductions. All of these things can be done even without any face-to-face interaction. So there is no issue as far as income tax is concerned. So this is what definitely going to be done in the coming days of lockdown, before we meet face-to-face. GST is something that we will have a revision as well as solving of problems once we meet face-to-face. Is that clear? Now just a quick look. Costing also, materials, labor can be done through web learning, standard costing if required, but process and joint products by products will be done face-to-face. Law, all the remaining things can be done either through audio or through web learning or through face-to-face as the situation permits and requires. So there is no big limitation as far as the remaining topics of law is concerned. Same with accounts. Accounting standards except AS3 can be learned through web learning. We will do that in the coming days. However, the remaining things related to corporate accounts will be learned in live classes, that is face-to-face classes. So we need to classify the chapters which we have done. We need to apply logic and rationality in what is the best mode of learning for each type of topic, and accordingly we have to adopt the best mode of communication, and it should not be a one solution for all type of situation, and there is that is not possible also, that is not scientific also. So this is the action plan, what has been done and what is still to be done. On one side, definitely simultaneously you have to continue the revision of the other chapters which have been dealt with earlier, and also you have to go through the new topics that are being shared with you in the WhatsApp group, along with your own effort of reading through the material, whether it is a book or study material, but ultimately the topic whatever is going to be discussed through either audio lectures or web learning process. One side there will be a explanation through these modes of communication, but you also have to read them once again, then you have to understand them in line with the explanation that has been already given. So that is again a mutual effort, but only limitation is, in case it is a classroom, we can do this exercise together and we can understand the other person, that is you, whether you are able to understand or not, whether you are able to appreciate or not, whether you are doing effort or not, also we can easily find out. That will be the advantage of live face-to-face classes. And since we don't have it, we cannot complain. All that we need to do is we need to be more responsible. Now is not the time for crying for what we don't have. Now is the time for stepping up, and we need to be self-motivated, I would say directed, and there should be more self-discipline in terms of learning the new topics as well as revising the existing topics. So this is the conclusion of the introductory session in the mode what we have started, and we are calling it web learning process. So in this web learning process there will be more series of videos which will be shared with you, and of course, as we have already in our WhatsApp group, anybody having any doubt can freely express them in the group. Also, if they really don't want to do that, they can separately message the respective faculty. If it is me, you can directly message, or if you have any other questions, you can just text it in the group itself. So the point is, there should not be any gap in the form of not having a closure of the loop, which is inherent in the non face-to-face classes, but we have to come over that with that, and only way to come over with that is your effort. Your effort is going to be definitely making a big difference. If you are listening to, and if you are watching the videos very carefully with self-discipline, with more intensity, not like just casually while doing other work, keeping headphones in the ear, not in that way, like as if it is real classroom. In that sense, if you really take seriously, then that is first step. Second step, you need to write the things down as a summary, and third step, you need to read also whatever the material it could be. Could it be a Munish Bhandari book, or it could be income tax book of Girish Ahuja, or ICAI material, or ICAI material in relation to law, costing. So what we are reading, yes, the content is enormously available to you. You have book, you have material, you have ICAI study materials also with you. So any of them can be referred, but the point is, are we getting the concept clear or not? Are we cementing our understanding of a particular topic or not? That has to be constantly checked. And again, I am repeating, we cannot check that since we don't have any face-to-face interaction with you. It is not possible remotely to check that. It is quite possible when we see you in the classroom. But since now we cannot check, so my sincere suggestion and request in fact is, you check that yourselves. Are you following the things? Are you doing the right things? So that ultimately our objective of getting success in the examination is achieved. All our steps, all our thought process, all our time that is spent has to be focused towards that objective. Remaining things will come, will go, we'll see as they happen. So there is no much discussion on the remaining things, though no much certainty also with which we can discuss them. So where we have control upon, let us grab that into our hands and use that time very effectively. That's what I can say. And in the next classes of web learning, we will directly enter into the subject. And if you have any other suggestions in relation to this technology that I am using, I would like to also tell you, I am also new to this. This is just a beginning. If there are any improvements to be done, definitely your suggestions will be welcome. When it comes to the subject, definitely the effectiveness will be much more. But in spite of all that, any of your feedback or suggestions in terms of making this learning process more effective are most welcome. Okay, with that, thank you very much. Bye bye.